Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in with us this week. This week and this month, we are talking about Social Security. It is something that affects almost all of us, but there's a lot of questions that are kind of flaring around it, and there's some really big questions that we actually just wanted to kick off with. This is Nancy Nouse, owner of Benchmark Wealth Management, and I'm Hall Ballinger, both advisors here as well. But the big question we want to tackle today is Social Security going away? We get that a lot in our meetings. And the financial planning that we do, projecting out over the next 100 years, that's always taken into account as well. And the question is, does that need to be taken into account? Can we actually genuinely rely on that? What will it look like? Short answer, just going to answer it straight up, no. Social Security is not going away, but it could look differently. And now, talking about how it could potentially look different, we'll get into that. But the reason it's not going away, one, it'd be absolute political suicide. There's nothing, bills, the chances of that bill being passed, too many people rely on it for their day-to-day, their monthly income. There'd be just absolute uproar, and it would not even get past any parts of the House or the Senate. In terms of how it can look, Nancy, do you kind of want to jump in? It's not going to look exactly like it does today, but here in 15, 20, 30, 40 years, what it could look like to make it sustainable?
Yeah, I think one thing to consider, and the reason sometimes people think it's going away, is originally there were over 150 people per retiree that were contributing to Social Security. Now there's 2.5 people contributing to each retiree. So the funds have gone down, if you will, and that's a concern naturally. What would it look like? Well, right now you can get Social Security, some of us, as early as age 62. That's not going to hold. It's going to be later and later and later. And the latest that you can wait right now is age 70. They start calling you at age 70 saying you need to take your benefit. Well, I think there'll be a time when 70 is the start age. So I think that the starting age will go longer and the benefit may be less because of, again, they just don't have enough funds. I agree with Hall. We don't think it's ever going away. Is that a guarantee? No, but we think it's going to be around for a long, long time. I don't think the changes are going to affect you if you're listening, but your grandchildren, different story. Hall just had a son. Is he going to see it? Yeah, I think he will, but it may not be again until he's 68, 69, 70. So we never encourage anyone to count on it. And if you are counting on it and you're young, it may be a little bit later. What would you add to that, Paul?
I would just say the full retirement age, some of y'all are already experiencing that. That used to be 65, and it's slowly being pushed back, and that's the age at which you can take your full Social Security benefit. And then they also say right now, if you wait, let's say your full retirement age is now 66. If you wait till age 70, every single year that you wait, we guarantee to increase your benefit by 8%. An 8% guaranteed increase, we can't guarantee anything in the market. We love that. But they're wising up and they're realizing that's not going to be as sustainable either. So a lot are projecting that guaranteed 8% increase might look more like 4 to 5%, something in that range. So they're going to find ways to kind of cut back, make this a little bit more sustainable. Payroll deductions, taxes, things like that. That calculation itself is going to be a little bit less beneficial as well. And by and large, again, what we want to emphasize here is just don't plan on it. Don't make that your retirement plan. Yes, it can play a factor, and we believe it will be some type of factor. But as life goes on, that factor is going to be a little bit smaller and smaller each year. And so what we encourage is instead proactively plan for it. Proactively plan for what do I want retirement to look like, not counting on the government. And take it into your own hands. Take your future into your own hands and make sure you got an intentional plan in place. Anything you want to add?
No, just to echo what you said, we don't think you ought to be counting on it, and it is not a retirement plan. It originally was founded by FDR to make sure that no one ever fell below a certain income limit. That's all it was. So, our attitude is if it's there, it's gravy, but don't be counting on it. And so now is the time to make sure that you're maxing your 401k. You're making those Roth contributions. You're doing whatever you can to not be dependent on the government, which is something else we really encourage.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be tackling a few more questions throughout the month, like spousal benefits, widow benefits, things of that nature. So be sure to tune back in, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks, guys.